Okay, good morning, everybody. Hey. My name is Juergen Voegele. I'm the Director for Agriculture and Environmental Services here at the World Bank. And it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all, friends from the governments, foundations, civil society organizations, friends and colleagues from everywhere, to come together to have this dialogue around what we believe is one of the most urgent and pressing topics of our time. I think it couldn't be more timely that you meet this morning discussing this, just a day after the IPCC report has come out, yet again confirming and reaffirming the fact that the way we manage our landscape and the way we produce our food is a major problem in the climate conversation. We are a big part of the problem, and we are also potentially a huge part of the solution. That is the good news. I think that in agriculture broadly and in the way we manage our landscape, we are about 20 years behind the curve. And why do I say that? When I look at other sectors such as transport, such as energy, they've been innovating, investing for 20, 25 years. Do you know what percentage of new energy that came on the grid last year in the United States was renewable energy?
44%.
Yeah, it's 40. I read 47, but it's in that range. 40+% of new energy that came on the grid last year in this country was renewable. The total, of course, is still below 10%, but it's growing rapidly. But the fact that the new energy is that high tells you what's going on in that sector. Then you look around on the streets, you see electric cars, you see hybrid cars, you see mass transport systems based on renewable energy, etc., etc. Around us, the world's innovating, and in agriculture and in food security and in the way we manage our landscape broadly, we are not doing it. I think we are in denial. I think we are in denial that the way we produce our food has a massive global footprint. Most people will agree with that. Most people will know it. They know about water shortage. They will know about nitrogen cycles out of whack. They will know about the pollution our current farming practices cause. They will know about biodiversity. They will know about deforestation. And some of you may know, probably all of you in this room, know what the actual emissions footprint is, which is just being reaffirmed at around 25% all in. But the question is, what are we doing about it? And how long will it take us to actually deliver impact to scale? Any one of you who works in agriculture research knows what the lead times are to change a variety, to change a practice, to change a farming system, to move from what we have done for the last 10,000 years to something that we will need to do for the next 10,000 years. And I, for one, believe profoundly that we need to rethink the way we produce our food, not just to tweak at the margins. We need to develop systems that give us three things going forward. We need to develop systems that are highly productive, because we need to increase productivity on the land we are farming today. I don't think the conversation is whether or not intensification is necessary. The debate is, how do we intensify in a sustainable way? We have no other choice if we want to feed 9 to 10 billion people going forward, but to intensify. That is not the question. The question is, how do you do this in a way that is less damaging to the environment and to sustainability than we do right now? Secondly, you need agricultural systems that not only are highly productive, but that are highly resilient. Everyone we talk to, and I'm sure it's the same where you sit and where you work, everyone you talk to will tell you that in their country, in their village, in their region, things are changing. There are more rains, there are more storms, there are more floods, there are more droughts, there is more heat. There's all sorts of issues, and this is not just 5 or 10 countries. We've just gone through the spring meetings last weekend. Everyone you talk to will tell you that there is a problem. So there's no question that adaptation and building resilience into our food systems going forward has to have a high priority. And we have done pretty okay, I may say, over the last 15 to 20 years to breed varieties that are heat tolerant, that are flood resistant, flood tolerant, drought resistant, etc., etc. We're making progress on that. But then thirdly, we need agriculture and food security and land management systems that actually reduce the footprint. We need to reduce emissions from agriculture, and this is livestock, this is rice production, this is nitrous oxides, it's methane, it's carbon dioxide. And we need to develop systems that eventually turn from being an emitter into a sink. And that's a stretch, I know that. But it is not one of the three, it's all of the three that you need to have, because none of them can be compromised. And that's why we increasingly talk about this notion of climate-smart agriculture. That's really what's behind it. You want an agricultural system, and I have the sequence very clear. We don't start with mitigation, right? You don't go into Africa and start talking about mitigation. That would be completely unrealistic and silly. You need first production and productivity. That is the key. You need resilience and adaptation. That is the key for the people. But at the same time, we need to exploit every opportunity and possibility we have without compromising the first two to have a system that turns what is now a huge problem into a solution. And I think this morning you have the opportunity to listen to the scientists to get more clarity what the problem really is. Hopefully have a conversation with practitioners who have experienced these kinds of systems in the real world, and they are out there. And I'm sure, I don't want to preclude a lot of these, but the very famous one is the Phyderbia alba, or albaida trees in the Sahel, where a legume tree together with the corn production systems gives you that triple win. It makes it more productive, makes it more resilient, and it reduces the footprint. And there are many. We've been to Costa Rica a while ago where you see those systems where a farmer makes more money, higher production and productivity, becomes more resilient because it diversifies and reduces and gets the mitigation aspect under control. There are many of those systems where there is no trade-off. Are all systems without trade-offs? Of course not. Right? There will be some systems where there clearly has to be some trade-off, and then that has to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. But I think our focus, laser focus, should be on understanding what is already out there that works, that gives you the triple win. What will it take to take it to scale? What will it take to make a global impact? To me, the conversation in agriculture is no longer about should it be organic or GMO, or should it be this or that. These are not the questions of our time, actually. They will always be there. That's just like the question, should there be nuclear energy or not? You know, the French love it, the Germans hate it. Now, who is right? I don't know. The fact of the matter is, it's out there and it is going to be a part of the solution going forward. That is not a constructive conversation at this point, in my view. There is many more constructive things we can talk about, like how do we actually get our systems more sustainable in a true sense by reducing the footprint broadly, but certainly the emission footprint. So that's my plea. From the World Bank side, I can assure you this will define and determine what we will do over the coming years to support governments in their own efforts to identify what works in that direction, in this climate-smart direction, and help them scale it up. Now, is there doubt in the community around science? Yes, sure. There are many questions we haven't been able to answer. There will be articles coming out, and they do come out at the moment that says, you know what, mulching looked like a very promising thing, and it came to mitigation. Actually, maybe the potential isn't quite that high when you really look at all the things. There are still many of these things will come out. But that's not the point. The point is that we, as a world community, and particularly the science community, and I'm very grateful to colleagues from CCAFS, the Global Research Alliance, who are co-hosting this event, they have been thinking about this systematically already for a number of years. Where is the potential? Where is the stuff that we can do and should do? Where is the science that allows us to take this forward? Maybe one more word on the science. I believe we are still not focusing our scientific research programs strongly enough on that triple win. I still believe we are compartmentalizing our research mentally too much. We still have research teams going for that next 2-3% productivity increase in the rice variety, or that drought gene, or maybe that bigger root system. But they're not doing it together. There is not a multiple objective function breeding program that says, I want all these three things in my next generation of wheat, or rice for that matter. And then I'm not even talking about systems research. I'm just talking about commodity research. So I want to leave you with these thoughts, just to say that we are absolutely delighted that you take the time to be here. This couldn't be more timely. It's a very important subject because we are behind the curve and we need to accelerate things. And it's very urgent. Because if we don't, change the way we produce our food and reduce our footprint, by 2050, do you have any idea what percentage of the global greenhouse gas emissions we will be as a sector? If I look at current trends in every sector and what's going on, it could be as high as 70%. Right now we're at about 25, but you need to see what's going on in energy, in renewables. You need to see what's going on in transport, what the cities are doing. So there's all these dynamics going on. And when you project that out, we could end up in a scenario where actually the way we produce our food is 70% of the global problem, and we can't do that. And if we don't change the way we think and the way we work, we will not maintain the 2-degree world. If we continue business as usual just in this sector and continue to produce our livestock in 30 years from now, our ruminant population in 30 years from now, with the current growth rates, we will not be in a 2-degree world. I think that may be a little bit exaggerating, but the trends clearly go in that direction. So I wish you a lot of fun. Good luck, and I really look forward to hear from Eric, who will be here throughout the morning, and then also try to summarize later after lunch what the outcome of this is. We need to bring the science together with the funding, the programs, the investment, and get this moving. So thank you.